In football, everything is obvious after it happens. My goal is to make everything obvious before it happens. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Seeing Red. Huskers taking on Utah in the Las Vegas Bowl. Let's break it down. The Huskers have an interesting test for their bowl game. We obviously struggled to stop the run all year, and we're rewarded with a bowl game against one of the best rushing teams in the country. Utah, I think, was actually second in the country in rush yards. They averaged about 270 a game, and they had 3,300 rush yards on the season. But I think this is actually a win-win scenario for the Huskers. One, we get to play a ranked team in a bowl game, and there's a lot of talk about Matt Rule's record versus ranked teams, the last time we beat a ranked team. But this Utah team probably should have been in the college football playoff. With 3 games to go in the season, they were ranked number 12, and they didn't lose a game, and they dropped to 15 conveniently. And it was kind of like not talked about that much. But I think this is a great team that we're playing, and it gives us a good test to see what our defensive coaching staff can do. They've only been here for a couple weeks, but it'll be a good measuring stick. We're playing one of the best rushing teams in the country, and we either come out and play well, and we're excited about our defensive coordinator, or they run all over us, and then we can show our boosters we need to spend some money in the portal and bring some talent in on the defensive front. With Utah being a strong running team, Nebraska's going to have to be ready for a physical read option offense with 2 mobile QBs. One of Utah's favorite plays is counter bash with a jet sweep read option on the backside. And they run this play a ton. It's probably their favorite play. Utah runs this play out of several different formations. They'll change up the wide receiver looks, and they'll do minor tweaks to the blocking scheme. But for the most part, it's the exact same play. So let's look at the base version, and then we'll go over a couple different the blocking variations and how they hit it differently each time. So the main version of this play is going to have a guy go in motion, and that's going to be our jet sweep. And then the quarterback's just going to have a read option, typically on this backside D end here. On the quarterback side, there's going to be linemen blocking down, and then the backside guard and tackle are going to pull and lead up. So the quarterback will read this guy. If he goes inside, the quarterback will give it on the jet sweep guy. If he stays outside, the quarterback will keep it. And like I said, they run this play a ton. A lot of times it hits with the quarterback on the front side behind those guards. They love to pull their guards and get them out front. And it'll hit like 6 yards, 8 yards, 12 yards. They just go all the way down the field. And then once you get sick of the QB, this D end will start flying in on the QB, and then they'll get 20, 30 yards on a jet sweep, and they'll just start the process all over again. This first variation is just a small one. They're going to use the tight end and the backside guard to pull. On this play, Utah is going to block this like midline. So on typical read options, you'll leave the defensive end unblocked, and then you'll read that guy. Depending on what he does, you'll either keep it or give it. Midline is going to be very similar. You're just going to do it with a defensive tackle. So we're going to see these guys block on the defensive end, and they're going to allow the defensive tackle upfield. We're going to get a pull here and a pull here. And then the quarterback's just going to read this defensive end. If he comes towards the quarterback, he'll give it to the sweep guy. If he stays out on the Jets motion guy, then the quarterback will keep it in the run bash to the front side. Just going to show 2 give reads in a row so you can see what it hits like when they do give it on the jet sweep guy. On this one, we can see the play side defensive end stays inside, so it's an easy give read, and they get a big gain outside. One more play. This one looks like counter bash, but it's actually not. The guard's going to be pulling play side, so we're going to get this jet sweep motion, and the QB's going to read. But this guard's going to pull towards the same side, and then the QB has an option just to go power in behind him or give on the jet sweep, and we're going to see him give on the jet sweep. You'll notice the defensive line slants towards the side the motion came from. That's because they're expecting counter bash, and they're trying to stop the QB. So this is Utah's wrinkle, saying if you're going to sell out, we're going to run the QB to the opposite side and catch you out of position. As far as Utah's passing game, the struggle is just going to be that they're a very opportunistic passing team. So they're going to set it up with a lot of runs and tight ends coming at you and blocking you. And then all of a sudden that tight end's going to run around you for a touchdown. So Just about discipline, and with them using a running quarterback, we're probably going to have a safety more involved in the run fit just to account for those extra numbers. A lot of Utah's passing offense is short hitches and quick timing routes. I wouldn't say they have a passing tell, but something that I noticed, happens more often than not is if they want to pass the ball, usually there's not a ton of motion on those plays. Where they use a lot of motion in their running game, they use a little bit less in their passing game. So that's a slight hint. Switching over to the Huskers offense and taking a look at Utah's defense. At the end of the season, Utah really struggled to stop the run, especially against Kansas State. I think they gave up 470 rushing yards, and they gave up 293 rushing yards to Joe Jackson, which is a school record. It was previously 292 by Darren Sproles. And then when they played Kansas, they gave up almost 300 yards on the ground. So we're going to look at a couple plays that Kansas State was running. They ran one play 3 times, and all 3 times they got massive gains. So we'll take a look at that here. This linebacker right here is going to fly over when he sees the guard pull, and he's just going to get caught out of position, and the running back's going to do a good job taking advantage and making a cutback. Take a look at this guy here. He's supposed to fill this gap in front of him, but when he sees the lineman pull, he thinks the play is going to the other side, and it probably is, but you can't leave the backside open. So that allows Joe Jackson to sneak out for a big gain here. We'll take a look at it from this other angle. This linebacker right here, he should have this backside gap and force Joe Jackson to go to the front side, where this linebacker should fill the other gap. And you also have the safety. But he flies over and he leaves the backside wide open. So we're going to watch them run the exact same play. Shift into it. The guard pulls over. They hit it again. Big gain. Okay, first touchdown. And then we come back to it. It's working, so we're going to use it again. Another big gain. Now, if you watch this safety here, the safety and the linebacker both fly over the top and allows the running back just to go right underneath him straight up the middle. Again. Safety comes forward and then just flies way over. Whoops. Couple more big runs. These are different plays, but still big runs up the middle essentially. And the one thing that I noticed is Kansas State was blocking these plays really well. You just saw a wide receiver, 30, 40 yards downfield. This next play, they're going to get guys 20, 30 yards downfield that are not able to get off blocks. Everybody's blocked. 20, 30 yards downfield. Still can't get off the block. So Kansas State's, probably blocking well, but I don't know if they're blocking that well. Said it earlier in the video, but I think this game is a great test for us. We have a team that struggles a little bit to stop the run, so it allows our offense to get some identity and work on establishing the run while we're on offense, and they run the ball really well, and that's something that we need to get better at, so we can work on stopping the run and establishing the run in this game. I think Utah probably beats us by 10 to 14 points, but if we run the ball well, I think that we can definitely win this game. All right, guys, that's it for the video this week. If you like it, make sure you hit that subscribe button and share it so we can grow the channel. We got another special video for you coming next week as well, so be on the lookout for that. Go Big Red.